Hello, friends. Um, I made the decision that I'm gonna start. Excuse me. I'm gonna start filming like little garden tour update videos and putting them on the old YouTube.com. Um, Mainly, makes it easier to share with people, but also great for my own records as well. So yeah, anyway, just to kind of quickly run through what I've already gone through before with some of y'all, but privately, but yeah, just to kind of get everyone up to speed. So that is coneflower. It's actually a variety. This is the variety. Actually already starting to get a flower on it, and I really need to get that in the ground. But I'll get to that in a second, a little later. But yeah, all of these are various mix of annuals and perennials. This is a strawberry plant. Actually, there's strawberry. Maybe, yeah, I think that's right. She's a little wonky looking, but I'm sure she's delicious. I don't know, looks like something maybe was snacking on it. Oh well. She read all the way through. Excuse me. Read all the way through. She's a little sour though. But there's plans for the strawberries too. I'll get to that in a moment. Before I get ahead of myself. So, all these here are various, a mix of perennials and annuals. So I have a couple dahlias here. Ooh, I really need to deadhead these. So some dahlias. I have two different ones. I have like this really pretty kind of pinkish one. And then this one is a more orange one. I don't think there's any. I think all the blossoms on this are starting to fade, so I'll need to deadhead that one as well. But yeah, these are salvias. I think they're probably annual. The variety on those. There's a couple bee balms in here. These are like purple ones. These are purple coneflower, and this is another type of salvia. This has like indigo flowers on it. So yeah, so these will be going these will be going out in front of my house whenever I get that garden bed squared away. So yeah, there's those. Here I just started like a little planter box of lettuces. I've been succession sowing these. Pardon me. So this is just like a lettuce mix. So it has like both arugulas and like various lettuces. I don't have the seed packet with me now, but yeah, these just started germinating. So yeah, hopefully soon I'll be able to start harvesting from these. And then here, these are just like some herbs. So some parsley, some oregano. This is a winter savory, I believe. Let's take a look see here. Yeah, this is like a winter creeping savory. So excited to use that as well. And then if we go down this way, I also apologize for the lawn equipment noises. There's some maintenance guys working at the old apartment complex next door. So yeah, so here, these are some strawberries that I've had for quite a while. And where they are now, it's a bit too shady for them. You can see how leggy they are. They're just not getting enough light. They should be a lot more compact. But I do have a few strawberries. A few, I mean more like a couple coming on. So yeah, so there's plans to also plant these in the ground. This area here, I will eventually turn this into a garden bed, but I have a lot of other projects I've started. So this part is very like low priority. If anything, I really just want to just get this weeded out, lay down some cardboard, some good soil on top, mulch in this beautiful clematis. If I can take a little step back and give y'all a little look-see. Yeah, she's actually starting to bloom. Whoop. So yeah, just a, you know, classic purple clematis. She really just popped off in the last day or so. So the way this has been strung up, all of the like the wire, string, whatever trellising for it, it's kind of going towards the point of the porch here. So it's kind of all coming this way into like a triangle shape. So next year, what I want to do, so either I'll prune it this fall or, you know, early next spring. But what I want to do is redo the trellising so it fans out this way rather than coming to like a triangle, you know, make it come fan out. And I think it'll cover the porch a lot more nicely and just, you know, really frame it in nice. But, you know, I am happy with how it's doing. So yeah. This is a lemon verbena, which I actually really need to harvest this. She's got a lot of growth on her. It smells beautiful too. Yeah, the plan is I would like to harvest this. I like to use this for tea, and also oh, what was I thinking? I also really love just, you know, using it fresh and just like, you know, you pick it, you give it a few smacks, stick it in a glass of ice water. So refreshing. We love it. But I really do need to prune this back because, as you can see, like all this growth and like in this, like as with many plants that grow in this fashion, like you cut it anywhere above like a node where these leaves are spreading out. You cut it back. If I'd cut it back here, it would sprout 2 new branches from each like little armpit here between the leaf and the stem. Sprout 2 new branches, and then it just gets bushier. So I will need to prune this and get a nice little lemon verbena harvest, have it grow some more for me, and rinse and repeat. And these are some chives. This one's still kicking on. These are 2 things I also would like to get in the ground this year. This one has more or less wrapped up. There's still like a few sprigs here and there, but this is pretty much done. And then over here, this is one of my green stalks. I actually learned about these from Roots and Refuge. Wonderful channel to follow, by the way, if you're at all interested in gardening. But yeah, I mostly have lettuces in here. Lettuces and like arugula, some mustard greens. Along the bottom bottom tier, I have some carrots and a few beets. Those are starting to grow, I think, finally. You can see like all this arugula, since it's been so hot here, it's all gone to seed. And same, there's mustard greens somewhere in here too. Those have also gone to seed. But all of these lettuces are doing really well. This is some type of lettuce blend. I think this might be the Chef's Choice seed mix from Botanical Interest. And then this is Marvel 4 Seasons lettuce, which this has been doing really well. And you know, it's been so hot here, and like this is not bolted or anything. Like none of these lettuces are bolted. Like this here, this is arugula, I believe, and of course like that just goes to seed when it gets hot. But yeah, this has been hanging on quite well. Actually need to harvest some of this later today and have a little salad for dinner or midday snack. This is a giant wormwood plant, which you can use for teas and stuff. Has various properties and usages, but I just got it for just for a little bit of interest, and haven't really used it as a tea, if I'm gonna be real with you, but I would like to put this in the ground. This is perennial where I live. I live in zone 6A, I believe. And yeah, she's been hanging on. I've had her for like 3 or 4 years now and going strong. This all is cilantro. I started for some reason, cilantro here. Chervil I put in these top pockets. These have not done very well. And I'm not sure if like the soil was a little depleted or if it just got too hot. Like, and you can see this is going to seed. I mean, it has been very hot, but today it's it's much cooler today, and like for part of this week. Today we've got a high of 69 degrees, 55% humidity. It's quite nice. Had a bit of a heat wave for a bit there. Really disgusting. Here, this is some apple. Sorry not to have my fingers in the frame. This here is some apple mint, which I also need to harvest this. Like any, with mint, like it's the thing, like you want to harvest it back, kind of back down. I would cut this back, probably like down to like here, like this, the top like 4-inch section or so has like the best tasting growth and all that, but you also need to cut this back so it can, put on a new flush of new growth, and just keep multiplying and all that. Hopefully it'll, I think she's well on her way to filling in this entire little bed that I've made next to my porch. So yeah, happy about that. There's my peony, which has already peaked, it's done blooming, so I'll probably come through and deadhead that at some point. And this, I'm thinking about moving this. Like this is here when I got the house, but it's a very well-established peony plant, and I think I may want to dig it up, divide it, and figure out where I want to put it, because I have like a vision in my mind of how I want this whole backyard to look. I want it to be a giant garden, and I'm just figuring out where in that garden does this fit. So a lot to chew on. I got to percolate on it a little bit. We'll figure it out. So here, these are some peas. These are a mix of sugar magnolia and sugar daddy peas, I believe. So yeah, they're doing really well. I actually just did a pretty nice harvest of this yesterday. And had myself a nice solid big old bowl of sauteed peas for lunch. Quite delicious. And there's more coming on. I could even like take this now if I wanted to. Which actually, you know what? Snack for the gardener. It's so good. They're so good. They're so sweet. Yeah, I just fertilized these yesterday after I harvested, so they'll hopefully put on a nice flush of new blooms. Give me some more peas. Looking forward to that. And we got another one here. Go ahead and take another little snack. Not there. It's a thyme plant. Had it for a couple years. And before I had this house, I pretty much strictly grew in containers because I've rented for a long time. So this year is like my first opportunity to have an in-ground garden, which I've started here. So a lot of like my herbs and stuff, I especially like perennial herbs, such as thyme and whatnot, I do want to get those in the ground somewhere. I haven't figured out where, but that is the plan, to get those in the ground at some point. And then here I have more peas. all trellised up here. And also just fed these last night as well, but not quite as strongly as the container ones. The soil is actually quite rich underneath all this straw. So, you know, I don't want to like torch the plants, but, you know, just gave them like a little something just to, you know, give them a little boost, you know. I actually do need to come through and get some more string going along, because as you can see, like this one here, there's probably, you know, at least 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet of growth from this last bit of string I put up. I actually ran out, so I need to get more, but I digress. So in here, I don't think there's anything coming up in here yet, but in this little hole and in this hole here, I planted some cantaloupes. They have not sprouted yet. It's been a few days. They have not sprouted yet, but I think they can take a while to germinate sometimes, so I'm not too worried about that. They'll come up when they come up. These guys here are all, they're like these sweet banana peppers. They're like a sunset mix. They get all different colors apparently, so to those, looking forward to those. And then down here, I have a few tomato varieties here. So this one here is a Cherokee Purple. I actually need to come through and like start pruning these and start getting them trellised up. So this here is a Cherokee Purple, and it has a few pretty strong suckers that it's sending off. So for those of you who don't know, the suckers are, you get like these, see here, get down so I can show you better. So, you know, you'll see there'll be these leaf branches that come off the plant, right? And oftentimes in the armpits of these branches, you'll get like another stem that likes to sprout. And you can pinch these off, you can root them and start a new plant. I only have one of these Cherokee Purples, so I'm thinking I may root one or two of those suckers and plant another one. I have basil there. I have a few basil plants throughout here. So these four tomatoes here are, they're some sort of cherry tomato. They're not Sun-Golds, but they're kind of similar. This tomato here is a mortgage lifter, and then these 4 down here are pineapple tomatoes. So the Cherokee Purple, the mortgage lifter, and the pineapple tomatoes are all slicers. And I do love my slicer tomatoes, so yeah, very excited for those. And then these guys here, actually I'd noticed these germinated probably yesterday or the day before. So these are these are mystery squash. I think they're pie pumpkins. I think, but I don't know 100% for sure. But we're gonna find out in a few months when they fruit, and we'll figure out what we got. So yeah, there's those. I also yes, here it is. I also have a volunteer squash here, and I think, where were they? I think this may also be a volunteer. I think these are all just volunteer squash. You know, I love a volunteer, so I may just leave these if I'm gonna be so real with you. Yeah, the plan too, I got a couple seeds here. So I have these summer squash seeds, and the plan is I'm gonna take the summer squash and plant some along here, underneath where the peas are growing. Well, more, you know, not like directly underneath, but kind of more just along the edge here. And then the other edge, I will be planting more peppers. So I'm just waiting on some plants to arrive. But yeah, I figure once these peas wrap up, the squash and the peppers will be able to kind of fill in and do their thing. And then actually for the strawberries, so this used to be a flagpole. It's cemented into the ground. I don't know how I'm gonna get the brick of cement out. I don't have the energy to dig that bad boy out myself. However, what I'm thinking is I'm just gonna take an angle grinder, cut this flagpole off at the ground, and there's by the porch I have like a big metal ring. I would say it's probably about 3 feet in diameter or so, and I'm thinking I'm gonna put that over where this flagpole is currently, fill it with soil, plant strawberries in that, and that'll be good because they'll get plenty of sun, plenty of rain, and they can just grow in there and fill it up, and I can have strawberries. So that's the plan there. Then over here, this is a garden bed that my mom actually made this for me during my tenure as a renting tenant, and I couldn't plant in the ground, so she made me a raised bed. And I've moved this sucker twice, and I hope I never have to move it again. But where it is, clearly, there's a big old tree here. I put it here for aesthetic reasons. I don't think functionally it can stay here because it's just a bit too shady here for things to really grow. So I have carrots here. These are carrots. These are radishes, which have gone to seed. I think because it's been so hot, these have just gone straight to seed, and they haven't really, if I can get in here, these have not really formed much of a root. So yeah, so there's that. This is chamomile here. And then these are all beets. I'm not sure. I'm hoping the beets will be fine here. I haven't really noticed. First one in there. I haven't really noticed. I'm feeling in there, and they have like small, they're starting to develop roots, but they definitely need more time. So I'm just gonna let these go and see how they do. But this garden bed may be moving, which would entail taking out all of the soil, all 250 pounds of it, and moving this somewhere. I don't know where yet, so this will be a problem for future me, but it's not going to be my problem now. I also have mountain mint seedlings popping up in here, which is from this glorious pot of mountain mint, which I've had for 3 years. Same story with some of the other plants I showed earlier, where the strawberries were this is getting particularly leggy. So I think these need more sun. But yeah, these are a local native here in Pennsylvania. So I also have plans along the fence over there. I have plans. I would like to make a strip, the land kind of slopes down a bit there. And I would like to convert that strip of land there along the fence into some native wildflowers. Give the pollinators some support, a little ecosystem for the insects and whatnot. So I have the seeds for that. Yeah, I'm gonna make that into a patch of wildflowers. I'm gonna start that this fall, since many wildflower seeds need to be cold stratified. So I'm gonna sow that in the fall, let them overwinter, and see if they sprout in the spring, and go from there. So yeah. And then this is one of my other green stalks. I'm thinking about moving this into a place where it will get more sun, and maybe just putting herbs and nasturtiums in here. I've grown strawberries in this for a handful of years, and every year the strawberries die over the winter. So I've lost a lot of strawberry plants in this, and I think just where I live, it just gets too cold in the winter for strawberries to survive in this green stalk, which is kind of bizarre because the strawberries in the containers, those those strawberries there. Those have overwintered just fine for the last like 5 or 6 years. So I don't know what gives, right? So I'm not growing strawberries in this anymore, though green stalks are really nice for growing strawberries because it keeps them very clean. But if they die over the winter, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So anyway, thinking about moving this to a sunnier location, plant nasturtiums, herbs, whatever in here. Still percolating on that. And then just in here along the garage, I just laid down some soil along the edge here and planted some morning glories seeds. So yeah, just waiting on those to germinate. That was only a couple days ago. So yeah, the plant division is just let this whole side of the garage just grow up with morning glories, and it can be beautiful and glorious and just, you know, something lovely. You know what I mean? And then out here, this is my current primary garden project that I started a few weeks ago. So originally, this is not the original layout of this garden bed here. I can't really see too well because the sun is shading out or flashing out my screen, I should say. I'm just getting under the shade here. So originally this garden bed along the front here is kind of, you can see part of the original contour. So originally, like there as well. So originally it just followed the contour of the house here. So what I've done is, and this is also extremely overgrown with noxious weeds. I actually have a walnut tree that is now a 10-year-old walnut bush in that corner that has become my problem to deal with. So where it is, it's extremely difficult to dig out. So figuring out how to get that out still. But excuse me, but this is extremely overgrown with lots of weeds. There's still so much bindweed in here. I'm still like, as I'm like going through and like continuing to work on it, I'm still finding roots and like just these thick ropey roots of the weeds that have been growing in here for several years. So a few weeks ago, I would say about 3 weeks ago, I just got to work and got it all cleaned out, and now it's more maintenance weeding, thankfully, so I can just kind of go through and just pull out whatever crops up. There's a lot of bindweed in here, very nasty stuff, and like now, since I've weeded, like, you know, the earth doesn't like to remain bare. She likes to grow things and be covered in plants. So I have some thistles or nettles growing again in there. So I'll have to come back and dig those out once again. But shouldn't be as difficult. But yeah, so a bit of a mess right now, but I still have to take up some grass in here and lay this border down. I started these first 4 bricks or so here, and laid them in, and I just need to come through and do the rest of them and take up the grass, lay down cardboard, soil on top, and then those flowers that I showed at the beginning of the video, I will be planting those in here, and I'm going to turn this into like a perennial bed, and you know, and then have some annuals in here as well that can just kind of seed themselves. So yeah, that's kind of the plan here. I got a couple roses actually from Heirloom Roses. Wonderful place to get roses if y'all ever are interested. So this one here is a Joseph's coat, and I think it's maybe, oh yeah, I think it's starting to, I think the leaf buds are starting to swell up a little bit. It's looking a little different from when I first got it. So I planted these about a week ago, and yeah, not much action on it yet, but you know, I'm just keeping them watered. And the plan here is, this one is a Joseph's Coat climbing rose. And the plan here is to have it grow up the side of the house here. Kind of frame this window, be real nice and pretty. And then over here, I have a rambling rose, which you can see has begun to leaf out. This was one of the first leaves that came out. Got another leaf coming out here. So excited for this one. So this one is my pride and joy. This one's a David Austin rambling rose called Lady of the Lake. And this one, the plan for this one is to have it kind of come up the porch trail along the railing here, and yeah, very excited for that one. Then I have lots of gladiolus planted in here. That's a dahlia. And that's a dahlia as well. And I also planted some cosmos in here. Some cosmos, some poppies, some borage. What else? Hollyhocks and bachelor's buttons. There's some back there that are starting to sprout. So yeah, just threw some annuals in here just to kind of fill in along amongst the gladiolus and the dahlias. So yeah, that's kind of the current progress. Yeah, so anyway, thank you all for watching, and yeah, the plan is to I'll probably do these every few days or so, really for my own records, but glad to share it with the world as well. So yeah, I'll catch you on the flip. Love, peace, chicken grease.